Oh my gosh. If somebody tells you that, run for your life.
Yes. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to our channel. I'm Brandy.
And I'm Josh.
And we talk about all things business, entrepreneurship, software development, freelancing, and working remote.
Yeah, lots of good stuff. And today we're talking about some of the red flags when you're getting paid by potential clients.
Because they are out there and they can bite you in the butt.
And people have attempted, or I have been screwed over by almost all of these.
I don't know if I've been on all of them, a few of them.
Yeah.
But the first one is equity, when somebody wants you to just solely work for equity in their company.
Yeah, and that's exciting because we live in a world, especially if you're a tech freelancer, of Silicon Valley, where equity could be worth millions and millions of dollars, right? But what's the reality of equity?
It's not worth anything.
95% of businesses fail, and even fewer of that ever reach liquidity. Now, what liquidity means is where you actually get money in exchange for your equity. So I think that's even closer to 1%, even less out of 100. So when you're talking about negotiating for equity, there is a less than 1% chance that you're actually ever going to get the money that you put in work for.
The next one is profit sharing. So you do all the work with the promise of getting profits that have come in through the company.
Yeah, maybe they'll say, hey, if you build this, I don't have any money to pay you, but I'll give you 5% of the profits over time. Now, both of us being entrepreneurs and both of us having our own business, I will tell you the hardest part of any business, and that is
sales.
Making money in sales.
Yeah.
And so how long do you think it would take if somebody wanted to actually get their money back?
Oh man, like 10 years?
Probably 10 years. If you're looking at a $50,000 project that you're going to do, maybe you're more on the $5,000 scale, I'll be honest, it's going to be years before you ever see your money.
Because 9 times out of 10, what's going to happen is if somebody comes in or somebody offers you that and you agree to it, and then when money does start coming in, they probably feel that they can talk you out of it by just putting the money back in the company. And
Or we
like
need
that.
the money to do this or this, so can I pay you in a few months from now? It goes back to the same exact thing as we almost said before about equity, which is most companies are a great idea until they have to go and make money, and then a lot of things could happen. The business could never take off. The business would have to pivot, which would mean they would need a ton more work done before you would ever see that money again, so you rack up an even higher bill, and your profit share probably wouldn't even change, so you're in the same deal, but now you doubled your amount of work. So generally, profit sharing is a very bad idea if you're starting off in the freelance game.
So if somebody mentions it, red flag.
Red flag, flow show.
And the third one that we are going to touch on is
Deferred payment upon some optimistic event. So them raising money, for instance. Yep. Oh, we'll pay you when we raise our first round. Oh my gosh. If somebody tells you that, run for your life.
Yes.
For real.
Those are also red flags about the type of company it is or the person running it. I always think it goes back to how people, it's about a relationship, and if they don't value your time and effort enough to pay you, like when it's happening, that's a red flag right there.
Yeah. It really goes back to it. Most companies are never going to realize the money or the funding that they're seeking, right? And so they never raise that money, or they decide to change their mind and want to pursue a different idea, because remember, up until this point, you're the one that's put in all the work.
Yeah.
And they decide they don't want to do it anymore. Well, you're kind of out of luck. So those are 3 major red flags that we've come across. I've been screwed on 2 of those. And I would highly, highly recommend to avoid, unless they are like your best childhood friend or a family member.
Even that, no.
Well, and what I was about to say is that you're okay doing it as a charity project.
Okay.
Or a portfolio project, and you realize that there's a 99% chance you're probably never gonna see any money from it, but you're okay with that. As long as you're okay with that, then that's an okay project to take on. But if you really need that money and you need to pay your bills, or you're really looking to see some sort of cash, I'll be honest, leave that project and go after one that's gonna pay you actually upfront or right when it's finished.
One of the best ways to avoid these types of situations is have contracts for yourself in place. As somebody who freelances, you need to make sure you have contracts, or when you are talking, say maybe you're brand new and you don't have a contract or you can't afford a lawyer to create one, make sure their team has contracts and make sure you read them
thoroughly. I mean, it might be a 12-page legal jargon contract.
He always rereads stuff that I have to sign. I'll read it, but I'll be like kind of like easy breezy, or I used to be that way until I read one. There was one contract that we almost signed, and it said that we couldn't develop software in the Orlando area at all. And we're like, wait, what? But that's our job. Like, that's what we do. Like, that doesn't even make sense. So then we had to go back. And so it's making sure you read the fine print and the payments and all that types of stuff.
Yeah, because, and here's another thing too, even if you have a hardcore contract, that's the only thing that's going to protect you. But here's another thing, depending on the size of your project, say it goes south and you do have a contract, it might cost you upwards of 5 or 10 grand to actually go after that person for the money, and that might be more expensive than what you would have got paid in the first place. So that's also one of the big things to remember. Definitely have your contracts, but don't use that as the final resort in your negotiation, thinking that, oh, just because I have a contract, I'm safe. Mm-hmm. I really do think these are all red flags. Contracts are a one way to definitely secure you. That's what we would do 100% of the time now, but still,
we would never
careful.
ever take on projects like that.
Not anymore.
It's not worth it. We've spent way too much time and lost way too much money.
Seriously, on one project alone, on a deferred payment project, I lost over 30 grand. And that was my fault. I didn't have the proper contracts in place, and it was a handshake trust deal based on somebody we trusted, and we got screwed over. It can happen to me, it can happen to anybody.
It can happen to you.
Yeah, it can seriously happen to you, and just realize no matter how good of a heart that person has, look at it from a very hardcore business perspective and realize that those 3 options may never, it's like very high likely chance of you never seeing the money from them.
Yep. So that is our video today, guys. Red flags, run for the hills if you encounter any of those things, or if you have questions about it, drop them in the comments below. And if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to our channel below.